Good evening. It's Wednesday, the 8th of February, and it's time for the news on RIK2. The Assize Court sitting in Nicosia is expected to issue a reserved judgment in the case of former Deputy Attorney General Rikos Erotochridou, who is facing several charges of conspiracy and corruption. The reading of the decision started at 11 in the morning and continued for several hours into late afternoon. Erotochridou had been charged with conspiring with lawyers Andreas Kyprozoglu and Panagiotis Neokleos, as well as the law firm of Andreas Neokleos, to subvert the course of justice, bribery and dealings by proxy, suggesting corruption. The charges connected with the disputed ownership of the Cyprus-registered trust fund Providentia Holdings in a court case in which the litigants were the underage daughter of the deceased Russian owner of the company and her two older half-brothers. The court said that the lawyers and the law firm conspired with Erotochridou to launch criminal prosecutions against the Russian nationals battling the Neokleos law firm in court over Providentia, in exchange for arranging a favourable ruling for Erotochridou's lawsuit against Legacy Laiki Bank over the offsetting of his seized deposits with outstanding loans. Government spokesman Nikos Christodoulidis said that President Anastasiadis is not the one who will cause a collapse of the negotiations for a Cyprus solution. However, Christodoulidis added that he could not exclude the possibility that Turkey might lead the process into a deadlock. The spokesman stressed that the Greek Cypriot side aims at further progress in the negotiations with a view of reaching convergences on as many issues as possible. Asked to comment on a statement by a girl opposition party that the two sides must focus on the big issues, Christodoulidis said that the Greek Cypriot side is ready to discuss all issues and conclude agreements on all issues if possible. But he pointed out that the Greek Cypriot side does not sit alone at the negotiating table and that achieving progress depends on the will of the other side. Christodoulidis also confirmed press reports that President Anastasiadis asked those parties which suggest a change of strategy on the Cyprus problem to submit concrete suggestions in writing. Turkish Cypriot leader Mustafa Akinci tried to clarify a demand by Ankara that the four basic European Union freedoms be accorded to Turkish nationals after a solution. In an interview published in a Turkish daily today, Akinci was quoted as saying that Turkey wants the four freedoms of travel, establishment, business and capital to apply only to those Turkish nationals who will be residents of Cyprus. Akinci added that it has been agreed that all Turkish nationals currently in Cyprus will become Cypriot nationals and that the population of Turkish Cypriots will be about 220,000. He added that the two sides will have a clear idea at the March and April meetings whether the process will lead to a solution. Akinci said the position of the Turkish Cypriot side on the issues of equality, security and freedom will not change. He added that the current system of guarantees must be reviewed after 15 years. Meanwhile, Akinci said during a visit to the planned new checkpoints at Derinia and Abliki, northwest of Nicosia, that work must be speeded up for the opening as soon as possible. Turkish Prime Minister Binali Yildirim has again said that Turkey will continue to contribute in a constructive way in efforts to solve the Cyprus problem. Yildirim reportedly told United Nations emissary on Cyprus, Espan Barthaida, that Turkey exhibited decisiveness during the Geneva conference for a just, viable and comprehensive solution of the Cyprus problem. However, Turkish officials at the conference had behaved in a way suggesting that they did not want the conference to reach the stage of decision-making, as the Turkish president did not want to lose support by nationalists in the upcoming referendum for constitutional changes in Turkey. Anadolu news agency said Yildirim hoped that further progress will be made in the negotiations in Cyprus in February, ahead of reconvening the Geneva conference. Ida visited Ankara as part of his consultations in search of a compromise solution on the issues of security and guarantees. Turkish presidency sources have said that President Tayyip Erdogan and US President Donald Trump agreed in a phone call overnight to act jointly against Islamic State in the Syrian towns of Al-Bab and Raqqa. They also said they discussed issues including a safe zone in Syria, the refugee crisis, and the fight against terror, while Erdogan urged the United States not to support the Syrian Kurdish YPG militia. The Turkish sources said new CIA Director Mike Pompeo would visit Turkey tomorrow to discuss the YPG and battling the network of US-based Turkish cleric Fethullah Gulen, whom Turkey accuses of orchestrating a July coup attempt. British lawmakers are poised to vote on the Brexit bill later tonight as the government made last-minute moves to placate Conservative rebels who want more to say in the negotiations. Seeking to address concerns of the issue, Brexit Minister David Jones told deputies that their approval for the final exit deal would be sought before the European Parliament debates and votes on the agreement. Jones said Britain will not seek further talks with the European Union if Parliament rejects the exit deal it reaches. Meanwhile, support for Scottish independence rose by 3 points last month after May came out in favour of Britain making a clean break with the European Union. A poll showed that 49% of Scots now support independence, but 51% oppose it, and 56% oppose holding another independence vote before Britain leaves the European Union. The minister attached to the president, Konstantinos Petridis, said today that the Cyprus tourism organisation will be transformed into a government department with a deputy minister placed in charge. He said on his Twitter account that the government has already struck an agreement with the two biggest trade unions, which regulates employment issues. Petridis said that a bill will be sent to Parliament to obtain parliamentary approval for the transfer. President Anastasiadis also said in a tweet that the move will help strengthen planning and increase the contribution of tourism to the economy. Ahead of the Cyprus Tourism Organisation transfer, its deputy head, Anita Dimitriadou, was today reported to have submitted her resignation. Now for the weather forecast. Partly cloudy weather will continue tomorrow with more isolated rain expected. Winds will be moderate northeasterly to southeasterly, force 4 over slight seas. Temperatures will reach 16 Celsius inland and in coastal areas and 8 over the mountains. It will become cloudy on Friday and rain is expected in some areas. Mostly cloudy weather is forecast for Saturday and Sunday with rain showers and snow over higher ground. Temperatures will drop slightly. The depth of snow is 60 centimetres on Mount Olympus, with 50 over the Troodos Square. That's all from us here. Join us tomorrow for more news in English. Have a very good evening.